Hey, I'm Claire,
And I'm Janice.
and this is The X-Files, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on.
We are breakup coaches here to help you beat your breakup
Heal your broken heart.
and move on to an amazing, abundant life.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode. Woo woo.
Hi.
Yeah.
Good morning. Good afternoon.
Morning, afternoon, wherever you are, midnight, it's all
Yes,
good.
thank you for being here and well done getting support for your healing journey.
Exactly.
Yeah, nice work, everyone.
Yeah. Today's topic is going to be really cool.
Yeah.
Rescuer syndrome. You might have guessed by the title of the episode. But before we get into it, we just want to put another plug out for our Facebook group, which is growing every day. We're getting requests. It is such a supportive space.
It is. It's really
space.
active too.
Yeah.
Which I think is great. You know, it's not the it's smallish, but it's very, very active.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So
Well, I guess I shouldn't say it's small. It's like growing very, very
definitely
quickly.
growing.
But for the
Yeah.
size that it is, I think it's really active.
Yes. Yeah. Percentage of people in the group who are participating and offering support to each other, and also, asking for support, who are sharing, what they're going through on the walls. It's a single wall. I don't know how the Facebook house works, but it is really cool to see. And we
Just
do
what we had in mind.
lives in there. We are aiming to do them more frequently. But the lives are super fun. We're able to offer some kind of one-on-one coaching support.
Yeah.
A
You
little
can
more
speak directly
tailored.
with us.
Yeah, a little bit more tailored than our episodes. The last one we did was super fun.
Oh man, we were high vibing after. It was super great. So find us on Facebook at Breakups, Broken Hearts, and Moving On. And please, please, please answer the membership questions. We have guidelines and we need to know who you are and what you're doing, requesting to join, so that we maintain a safe space for everyone. So please take the minute to do that, because I will not let you in otherwise. I promise.
Yeah, that's kind of our agreement is,
I have to have integrity with saying that. So
exactly. So, and then next up, we do have room in this coming month for coaching. Janice and I do offer coaching individually. We have a few ways that we work with people. There's more information on that in the Facebook group, in the media section. But you can also just DM us and reach out for help if speaking with one of us one-on-one, perhaps doing like a larger commitment that's really going to help you get through this time in the healthiest way, and like honestly set you up for every future relationship you go into.
We do a lot of work, looking at the past, but also, looking towards the future. And
exactly. Coaching
what
is
your
very
goals
much
are.
like action oriented.
Definitely. Yeah. We would love to hear from you. And right now it's summer, and what a great thing to do with your summer, add some pizzazz to it with some coaching.
Awesome. Well, with that, let's get into the episode. So rescuer syndrome. So starting off with some definitions so we make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah, I don't think this is as familiar as other relationship hot topics right now. So let's get into what we're talking about.
Yeah, I think things become trendy and come in and out of style. So this isn't like necessarily like a buzzword right now, but a rescuer is someone who feels compelled to rescue people in intimate relationships, often at the expense of their own needs. It comes down to the simple fact that the rescuer needs to be needed.
Yep.
There's plenty of related terms for this, although each may have some subtle differences. They're used interchangeably by a lot of people. So there's white knight syndrome, savior complex, hero complex, codependency, excessive helping behavior. These all kind of fall under that umbrella of the rescuer needs to be needed. And if they're not needed, their self-esteem plummets.
Yep. And we'll get into other things that can happen when they aren't in that role in a relationship.
Yes. Yeah.
Like Claire just said, the rescuer's self-esteem can go down when they're not saving someone. It is both a relief and a rest, as well as calling into question the purpose. If there is currently no one to save, they will find themselves immediately searching for someone new to save. And I know this for a fact.
Yeah.
And if their self-esteem doesn't go down, they might find themselves bored and not fulfilled, and will find someone else.
Or even just not attracted to that person.
Yes.
If someone doesn't need them, it's almost like, oh, well, there's no chemistry. And what it really comes down to is that they're not having to save this person over and over.
To avoid the ups and downs as people needing saving enter and exit a rescuer's life, they may commit long-term to someone who always needs saving.
Yes.
This way, the rescuer always feels needed, even essential to the partner. Andrea Matthews writes in Psychology Today, there is always something that is needed, something that needs doing, some sympathy to fill, some hurdle to jump, some mission to accomplish, and it's all done with the greatest noble thoughts. For indeed, it does appear to the rescuer to be a noble cause. Like they aren't delusional.
Yeah.
All right. She goes on. He just can't imagine that what he is doing is not absolutely essential to the well-being, if not the survival of his partner. So it could be a real issue, but the rescuer convinces themselves that they are absolutely essential to solving it.
Yeah, that their partner is in effect incapable of doing it for themselves.
Right.
Yeah. I love how Shahida Arubi explained the different ways this can show up for people with different gender expressions.
I love this as well.
Yeah. So I'll read a section from her article on white knight syndrome, but I think this applies to rescuer syndrome as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So male identifying partners who are white knights may idolize women and put them on a pedestal, taking their notions of chivalry a wee bit too far. They may be actively drawn to women who seem helpless and need support, such as those with a history of untreated trauma or self-harm, and treat their partners as extensions of themselves, criticizing and controlling them under the guise of just trying to help.
Yep.
Subconsciously, they may feel resentment towards women who do not give them undying love and loyalty in return, because they rescue not necessarily out of pure altruism, but with the expectation or hope that their own needs will be met, that they will somehow be rewarded for their rescue efforts.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I've seen this so often, especially men who really crave a relationship, may stay in it and continually put themselves last and try and save the other person because they just want the companionship so bad.
Yeah. I think it's like an over magnification of like the good guy complex. It's like, well, I'm saving them, like they should love me, like undyingly in return.
I'm trying to do the right thing.
So then females.
Yes.
So female identifying partners who exhibit white knight syndrome may behave similarly, but as they are socially conditioned to take on the role of nurturers, they may be more likely drawn to taking care of significant others who have addictions, abusive patterns, or infidelity issues. They may be overly empathetic to the point of denial about the fact that their partners have any self-control over their behavior. They may be more prone to making excuses for their partners, believing that they can't help it, and help to hide their destructive behavior from the world, shielding them from consequences or accountability.
Yes, that accountability thing is huge. I've seen some amazing explanations for some pretty insane behavior out of people with rescuer syndrome. Females,
yeah. And it's, the crux of the issue is that they believe that their partner isn't actually doesn't have any autonomy or control over their actions. So it still comes down to that, I'm the only one with self-control, and I need to take this person who is incapable of helping themselves basically under my wing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit dehumanizing, really, to think that your partner doesn't have control over their actions and do really, really harmful things. The Psych Center article, Rescuing, Resenting, Regretting, a Codependent Pattern, lists the following as common symptoms of rescuer syndrome. Rescuing includes doing things for others that they are capable of doing themselves, making it easier for others to continue their unhealthy behaviors, helping others avoid the consequences of their actions. And this includes if you get treated poorly.
Yeah.
They'll even excuse being treated like shit.
Yeah.
Leaving or ending a relationship is a consequence when you do that. But I've seen people let it go. Yeah. Doing more than your share of the work, taking responsibility for other people, trying to solve their problems, helping out of obligation rather than because you want to, or people pleasing, which is related. Or I guess people pleasing would be a symptom or a trait of rescuer syndrome.
Exactly. Just feeling like you have to do it because otherwise this person's life is going to fall apart without you. So yes, you want to, but there's kind of like a resentment in there.
Yeah,
of being some of the time. I have to do this again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you also really want to be that person that helps them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, thinking that it'll keep the relationship going, or just simply not knowing how to say no, many reasons.
Yeah.
So the article continues, certainly not all helping is bad or unhealthy. To distinguish rescuing from true helping, it's useful to question your motivation for helping and expectations regarding the outcome. True help is given with an open heart, with no strings attached and no expectations.
Yeah. No expectations. So you may be a rescuer if your self-esteem is based on your rescuing. If you don't know what your purpose in life is, if you're not saving someone, you're living vicariously through others, and your self-esteem is linked to that action. Number 2, you feel abandoned and you start looking for someone to save in order to find that connection again. So if someone's like, hey, I got it, please don't, you're like, oh
yes. Or you could be trying to save someone who is having something that's a temporary issue, and it will eventually get resolved, and then you might be like, well, what
do I do now?
Or you don't need me anymore, and yes, we'll go to someone else.
Yeah. Number 3, you gravitate towards those who are overly needy and dramatic and idealize the neediest people in your life. So this could be in caring for the damsel in distress or playing the selfless nurture role.
Yep.
Yeah. Number 4, you feel like you have to micromanage others' lives. You overly focus on the decisions and choices that others are making and try to stop people from making the wrong choice. But secretly, this form of control stems from a lack of control over your own life. By focusing on assisting your partner to better themselves, you successfully take the focus off of addressing your own issues and problems.
Yeah, you cannot manage your life and completely manage someone else's life successfly at once.
Yeah. And this is, something as coaches, we try to avoid micromanaging your life. We offer potential possibilities of what you could do, but at the end of the day, it is your choice on how you handle your breakup, for example. And we are not responsible for your choices, and we're not responsible for you getting over your ex. We're just here to help you.
Yep.
Along
Cheerlead, provide suggestions, provide support, have you bounce ideas off of, provide resources, all sorts of things.
Exactly.
But yes, and also we don't, continually check on people to make sure they've done it.
Yeah.
We don't, have emotional attachment to you making one decision or another.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So more symptoms of rescuer. You might be a rescuer if you take over the top action. Rather than doing a socially acceptable amount of work to help someone, you go overboard to demonstrate your care and value. This can be money, time, and lack of boundaries. 6, you always need to find a solution. This is a big one, and it's one that I've definitely seen. Saviors generally believe they have to fix everything. They often care more about fixing the problem than the person actually dealing with the problem does. But not every problem has an immediate solution. Certainly not one that one person can just come up with.
Yeah.
7, you might be a rescuer if you manipulate others when they feel distant from you. When a person you see as needing saving tries to be independent and make their own choices and deny you the rescuer role, you'll feel abandoned and can resort to emotional manipulation to keep them small and needing you. And this could be whether you are aware of it or not.
Yeah. This is a big one. And I think it comes up, or at least recently I've been hearing it come up with codependence that I don't know how to stop my Slack from giving me
that's a cute noise.
It is a cute noise. So yeah, that's
do you
my
have
Slack,
the sleep
guys.
button on your computer?
I do. It's on.
Oh no.
And then when I turn it off, I don't get them during the day, and I have to like visually make sure I'm not missing anything. It's
Right.
ridiculous. I'm sorry, guys. So this is a big one because like I feel like it comes up with, codependence and then like narcissists, or at least like toxic people in relationship with each other. The emphasis is usually on the toxic person being manipulative, but like the codependent person is also manipulative in a way because they need to be needed.
Yes.
And they'll try to keep that dynamic going, so that they feel safe and supported. So
Yep. And they think in return they're, going to get the love or stability that they think they want. Yeah. While there's nothing wrong with feeling compassion for others and helping them, doing so without boundaries to the extent of harming your own welfare can negatively impact your life. Absolutely. Yeah. It is definitely about boundaries and also having to be a two-way streak.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's got to go two ways. And, I mean, they say relationships are 50-50, and I like to say that is an average over time. Like, obviously someone can take priority during a tough time in their life, but you should switch off once that tough time is over. Yeah. So
because both people are going to go through tough times, and the rescuer may need more support at other times as well. But I've known people with these patterns, and they don't allow themselves to be in that role.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's actually often a lot of chaos behind the scenes of a rescuer's life because they're so focused, on the other person.
Other people. Yeah, because they're trying not to deal with their own problems.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So why are rescuers like this? Because, it has to be serving them in some way. Like that's just the rule with coping mechanisms, is it does benefit them until it doesn't.
Yeah.
So the rescuer may become the rescuer early in life. So when you're a child, this could be that you are assigned the role of rescuing your mother or father, sister or brother, or even the whole family. Mm-hmm. Over time, and with building of rescuing skills, this becomes the only method by which the child can feel connected to otherwise self-absorbed or self-involved parents. their needs seem more urgent and important than those of the child. And the child learns to meet their own needs vicariously through meeting the needs of other people. So she learns that that's the only legitimate way to connect with others is to rescue them. Later in life, she'll only seek out those who need rescuing in friends or in lovers for the sense that they need her, because that's the only thing she's ever known of giving and receiving love. And those who hold the identity of needing rescue for whatever reason are attracted to these people with rescuer type qualities.
Yep.
Yeah. So the child has learned that rescuing a parent is the only way to connect with them, since without a rescuer, the parent is too swept up with their own needs and inability to meet them to create a safe environment for connection with the child. The child begins to see that this is the only way to connect with people.
Yep. So I think that's definitely one cause of it. But I just wanted to also touch on, so not everything is rooted in childhood shit.
Yeah.
A lot is. But I've also known of people, who maybe didn't have good foundation for having healthy relationships. Totally. And so might have gotten into a relationship in which they played the rescuer role at some point and just really enjoyed the feeling and the adrenaline of feeling so important. And then from that point on, kind of developed this, whereas they might not have even had it before, but the experience of having it was something that they just started chasing.
It was so impactful that it changed them. Yeah, like I that makes me think about attachment styles and how like a lot of the times attachment styles are rooted in your childhood dynamics. But if you have an experience with relationships, even in adulthood, that has the weight and impact, like enough of an impact that it can change you from like a secure attachment style to like an anxious attachment style. So same thing here. It's not necessarily in childhood, but it has to have had, either an early or really weighted experience.
Yeah, I was also going to say it could be like one of the first relationship, a relationship that was really formative, or a relationship after a long break of not having one, that kind of caused this pattern to take effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. How does being the rescuer affect relationships? The rescuer seeks out relationships where they can rescue someone who will continually need to be rescued. This could be an addict, an alcoholic, someone with an eating disorder, someone with a mental health condition, really low self-esteem, severe family issues. If this person ever does begin to build self-efficacy and independence, it is not uncommon for the rescuer to manipulate them into staying small, stuck, and in need of rescuing.
Yeah.
And yet the rescuer likely cannot continue depleting themselves by living to rescue others. They'll start to develop resentment to all the energy that is taking to micromanage and direct someone's life. And it is a lot of energy. This is not something that you just do here and there. It is an all day constant thing. Yeah. They see their partner as incapable of doing it alone and lose respect for their partner. They start to want their own needs other than to rescue someone to be met. The ones the caregivers didn't meet, like love, support, and a strong sense of self that isn't wholly saving others. Other causes of resentment can be that our help isn't appreciated, our advice and guidance isn't taken, we sacrifice and ignore our own needs, we acted out of obligation and did things we otherwise wouldn't do, we feel neglected and like no one sees our needs and wants to meet them like we do for others. So if there isn't a high level of resentment, another pattern that the rescuer may develop is becoming bored with a partner when the drama dies down and then seek out another person to save, continually chasing the high of being the new savior in someone else's life. So if you might think you might have these patterns, but you might say, well, but I'm not resentful. But are you chasing the high of it?
Are you getting bored? And like, we're not trying to make you pigeonhole yourself and start identifying with this. It's more to, you know, call out perhaps that one person listening who kind of knows but isn't willing to accept it. Yeah, so
or it maybe is trying to break it with the person that they've just broken up with.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
you may have
exactly.
broken up with someone and be feeling really resentful because of all the saving that you did during the relationship, and
Yeah.
the person didn't want to go on, or it fell apart for whatever reason.
Mhm.
Well, is your anger and resentment coming toward or from a
Yeah.
place of being the rescuer and not,
Yeah.
getting what you thought you were going to in return?
Yeah, or maybe, you have been dating, or, you just ended something with someone that you're like, I don't know why, but I just didn't feel the spark.
Mhm.
It could be because they actually were capable and insisted on saving themselves.
Yep.
And therefore your brain and body didn't read that as having chemistry, but you're like, on paper, this person would be perfect for me. We have all these good interests. We get along really well. I just can't see them as more than friends because they're just actually really stable.
Yeah, are they too independent for you?
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, how to heal? If you're feeling called out right now, how
That's
do
all
you
right.
heal?
This, identifying your patterns is the first step. And I
Exactly.
think that this is definitely one of these relationship patterns that can be changed.
Totally.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think a lot of it stems from a lack of awareness, and you can be in a conversation, someone's like, "Oh, this is happening." And you're like, "Let me jump right on that. Here is exactly what you should do. Follow my five-pronged approach. Do
Mhm.
not deviate from it.
Yeah, I've
Start
got you.
immediately." Yeah, and you kind of just step in and take over. You can have that awareness and be like, "Oh, I wanted to offer you a solution and force you to take it.
Mhm.
So I'm actually going to be intentional. And instead of being like, you should do this, be like, that sounds really hard. Let me know if you need help." So
Yeah.
that's one example of like these actions that we're about to get into. So I got
Cool.
ahead of myself.
Mhm.
It all comes down, healing all comes down to realizing that you can't actually save anyone. Like, this is literally an exercise in futility. You
Mhm.
cannot save anyone
Yep.
except for yourself.
Yep.
So,
And they have to believe that they can save themselves and solve the
yeah.
problem. Yeah, you definitely can't do it for them.
Yeah, and this is a very similar dynamic with coaching. We can tell you all this information, but
Mhm.
only you can choose to absorb it and actually act on it. We cannot save you.
Yeah.
So, the only problems are things that directly affect you. That's a rule. From now on,
Mhm.
the only problems are things that directly affect you. They are not things that affect your partner but don't affect you. Those are not problems for you to be looking at solving.
Mhm.
That's for you to support your partner in solving for themselves. So, if it's a problem for you, though, then you can take responsibility for understanding it and solving it. But if it doesn't directly affect you, it's not something you need to put your energy towards understanding and solving.
Yeah.
So that's
This can
kind
get
of like,
tricky when you're in
yeah,
a relationship with someone, because you might say, well, their problems are my problems because we're together,
yeah,
and so it
yeah.
affects me,
It
right?
affects you,
Mhm.
but the part that affects you is how it is affecting your partner.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
the problem can be, oh, my partner is being, more emotional than usual because they're going through some shit. So your goal is to support them in that emotion range. It's not to solve the thing that's causing the emotion
Yep.
range. So
Definitely.
instead of rescuing, you can recognize what's your responsibility and what is not. You can stop taking responsibility for other people's problems, responsibilities, and feelings. That's a big one.
Yeah.
People's feelings are not your
Mhm.
responsibility.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
you can practice consistent self care, and this includes noticing and meeting your own needs. You
And
can
knowing that other people can do the same for themselves.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't give advice or help that was not asked for.
Mm-hmm.
Big one.
Yep.
Consider if someone does ask for help, consider if it fits your own needs, like you're not sacrificing your own needs in order to meet their need. If it fits with your current plans and availability, like you do not have to reschedule your whole
Right.
life and
Yeah.
cut out your sleep and your
Mm-hmm.
me time
Yep.
in order to meet a request from someone. You actually can say no. And then you can set boundaries and say no when needed.
Mm-hmm.
You can listen instead of act. Like the act of listening is often what people want anyway. They don't want you to solve their problems. They just want an ear that's going to listen and like commiserate, basically.
Yes, yeah, true. I mean, that's how I am. I
Yeah.
definitely, I'm very self-reliant and I want to make my own choices for sure. But once in a
Yeah.
while, I just still want to like talk about it with someone.
Yeah.
I was on the phone with a friend last night, just telling her about kind of like something that was going on, a business deal. And I had already made the choice. But, I hadn't actually spoken with someone about it and it felt good to do that. And she just listened and that was
Yeah.
that. I think that's what, emotionally mature people do is just have, dialogue about things.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. You can offer help in a low pressure way. So instead of being like, oh, you need to do A, B, and C, you can say, let me know if you need help. I'm here if you need me. And if they do ask for your help or to talk, ask what you can do. Don't just decide for them what the best thing is. Like your friends that you were talking to yesterday, Janice, like they could have said, hey, like let me know if you need any help, and you're like, actually that would be great. Then it'd be like, what do you want me to do? Instead of, okay, cool, you said
You
that you
need to
need
do
help.
this.
Here is
Yeah.
like a
Mhm.
pamphlet.
Yeah.
Here's a folder of your action
Or
plan.
if you find yourself saying you should do this, or
Yeah.
you should, or you know what you should do. Has anyone ever started a conversation with you like that? And
Yeah.
that's something I've tried to catch myself if I ever do.
Yeah, I'm
You
really
know what you
bad
should
about
do?
this. Yeah. I am so bad about this. And it's like
You
a
can change
constant
it.
thing
You can change
of, yeah, of being
catching
like, oh,
yourself. Yeah.
you should, okay.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. Because, I think it's natural for humans, not just like rescuers, to feel like they know best. And that their perspective is the right one. But the thing is that we are all different. So what is the right thing for me is not necessarily going to be right for someone else. So
And we need to
you
figure
don't
that
know
out on our own.
someone should do, other than like, obviously, you should not hurt yourself. You should not be
Mhm.
with someone who's abusive. You should,
Mhm.
those shoulds, those are like universal, like,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
For
protect
sure.
yourself. So, another thing you can do is to let go of the results of your help. So, let go of whether someone actually takes your advice
Yeah.
and whether it even works in the long run. Like, you are there to support them. You're not, you know, like obviously you do want the best for them, but whether a specific action works or not, that is no longer something you are responsible or in control of. So, another thing, match your friend or your partner's input level. So if you find yourself like realizing that you're putting in a lot more time and effort and money into the relationship than they are, try to
Stop.
consciously match what they're doing.
Absolutely. I think
Yeah.
that is a really good rule. And I bet you anything we're going to have resistance to that in
Yes.
particular. I think there's going to be some people out there who aren't going to like that and
Yeah.
probably say, well, if I care about the person, I'm perfectly willing to do these things. I want to do
Mhm.
these things. And
Exactly.
you may want to, but it's not necessarily the healthiest.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
And like going above and beyond is that because it's above and beyond what is normal and like socially acceptable.
Yeah.
And, it can actually make people uncomfortable, and
Yeah.
could actually be driving people away and kind of having the opposite effect that you hope it would. So,
Oh, yeah, we've
keep,
seen that before, haven't we?
yeah, keep
Mhm.
the above and beyond for very, very special, rare occasions. We're not
Right. Yeah.
saying like never do that, but it should be for someone who's demonstrated over time that they are someone who would do the same for you in those extenuating circumstances. It's not like every week you're just like
Right.
going above and beyond for this
Mm-hmm.
person. It's like
Mm-hmm.
they were having a really tough time one year, and so I, gave them some rent money, like something like that, like where it's a very rare thing and it's very appreciated at the time. And it's not something that's like giving one-sided continually. So
Yep. I guess you
awesome.
would need to know that the other person's willing to do it for you, here and there
Yeah,
as well.
or give it without the expectation, and that's why it should be, a rare, almost singular circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
Because, sometimes you don't know that someone would do the same for you.
Okay. Yeah.
But then, you just like, yeah. You do it out of the kindness of your heart, not because you feel like you have to save this person
Or
or
you're trying
that
to get
there's
close to
literally
them.
no other way that they can get through this, or
Mhm.
you want to be someone really special in their
Right.
lives and
Yeah,
this is how
that's a
you
big one.
prove it. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So it's
Mhm.
it's it is all about motives.
Yes, kind. I
So
think people are driven by to be the rescuer because of this desire to be like the one in the
yeah.
person's life, and
Hmm.
yeah, to even be seen publicly as this person's one and only.
Yeah. To kind of
Mm.
be like irreplaceable in a way, like no one else would do this for you,
Mhm.
it's kind of it doesn't feel good,
Mhm.
you know
Well, it
so
feels good to the rescuer
it feels good to the
momentarily,
rescuer
but
momentarily,
mhm,
but it
it's going to be exhausting. In your, like I said, you're going to be chasing the feeling.
yeah.
Mhm.
Just a couple more points here. Focus on collaboration over management. So you are together, say someone does ask for help, together you are collaborating on coming up with a plan for them that they then do themselves,
Mhm.
you're not going in and taking over. And then finally, accept your own limitations. You are not God, the universe,
Mhm.
angels. Like
Mhm.
you are just a human. You don't know everything. You can't save anyone who doesn't want saving. It's just, you just
Well, it's,
can't.
yeah, it's not what relationships are about. And
Yeah.
so I just wanted to end with a quote that I really like about rescuing from one of our favorite ladies, Melody Beattie, author of Codependent No More. And she says, rescuing someone is like trying to catch butterflies with a broomstick.
Poor butterflies.
Probably not gonna happen.
Not gonna go very well.
It's
But
gonna be
just damage their little
exhausting.
wings.
Yeah, yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
People need to be able to do things for themselves. And yeah, if you try and rescue them, you might, actually injure them a little bit along the way.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, you kind of force them into like um I think learned
Yeah.
helplessness.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and that's like a term for, I mean, it comes up a lot for like animal training, but also for abuse victims, where you learn that there is nothing you can do to get out of the situation. Oh, the best example is the elephant example. So like a baby elephant is tied to a stake, and it pulls and pulls and pulls, and it can't pull away from the stake. So as it grows up into this giant animal who
Uh-huh.
could easily pull the stake out of the ground,
Uh-huh.
it stops trying. And that is
Oh.
learned helplessness. Like the elephant's freedom is totally within its grasp. It's way stronger than this tiny little stake in the ground.
Mhm.
But because it has all this experience of not being able to solve its problems for itself, it stops trying. And, same thing for the, the helpless victim rescuer dynamic is the helpless victim has a couple experiences where they needed to be saved. And so they start to believe that they will always need to be saved, and therefore stop trying to solve their problems on their own.
I think in truly toxic savior syndrome relationships, the person who's being saved might really start to get off on it as well. And then it can just become this never-ending cycle of helplessness and saving inside of the relationship. And that's just not, that's not an abundant relationship. That's not why we're here to, love other people. Exactly. Relationships are meant to be joyous. It's not meant to be just nonstop drama like that. I really believe.
Yeah.
Well, What did you think of the episode, everyone? Please let us know. We're always, excited to hear from you in the DMs. And if you want to have a chat about rescuer syndrome, head over to our Facebook group.
Yeah, come join in.
And if you want to say even more about what you thought, you can always leave us a review. And if you do leave us a review and want to DM us, send us a screenshot of your review with your address. And we've got some really cool stickers that we'd love to get in the mail to you as a thank you.
Yeah. And they're low-key stickers. Like you can put them on your hydro flask and no one will know that it's like a breakup sticker.
Yeah, they do not say beating my breakup.
Yeah, it's my heart's broken, but I'm okay. We
were very intentional.
They're just positive. And they're
head over to our IG and you can see what they look like. We're trying to entice you to head over there.
Yeah, so we designed them with lots of love in mind, and for them to be something that you would actually use and like put on your laptop or put on your water bottle, that sort of thing. So
yeah, exactly. So send us a screenshot and we'll be in touch with a thank you. And thank you for tuning in. If you think that you might have rescuer syndrome tendencies, remember that you can absolutely beat this. There are lots of resources. This is a starting point for you. I think it's definitely something that you can turn around. And I think if you turn it around, you're going to have more joyous, exciting, fun, sexy, fulfilling, satisfying relationships for sure. All right.
Yeah. And this is the perfect time to be looking into this. Like, that's why we focus on breakups, because it literally is just it is a time for reinvention.
Yeah.
Like analyzing yourself and choosing a different path, choosing to break patterns that have not been serving you. And so we're so excited that you're listening and that we're on this journey with you. And we will speak to your ears very soon.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to X-Files, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on.
If you like this episode, tag us on your Instagram story so we can connect with you.
And you can find me, Claire, on Instagram at Claire Lofthouse.
And me, Janice, on Instagram at Janice Formicella. If you'd like to join our online community, find us on Facebook at Breakups, Broken Hearts, and Moving On.
And here's a preview of our next episode. Each day you wake up, you need to recommit to this work. Every time you stumble, you have to recommit again and again and again. Stumbling is part of the process. Recommitting is necessary. Commit to yourself at the start, moment to moment, every day, week after week. Choose and commit to you. When you commit to choosing to stop people-pleasing, stop accepting crumbs from your partners, start setting the bar higher, you choose you. You're worth it. Choose you.